So I was just thinking about this whole energy about sister wives. And I don't know, I like to be somebody that like compare, you know, like the Hebraic energy of like maybe what they were doing back then. Which I really don't think it was the Hebrew way, to be honest with you. I think this had more to do with, again, because we fail to remember that there's also a Quran aspect to the biblical text. There's also all these other Moorish and other things that are brought into the text. Now, if you think about that with like Moorish energy, they are really more like law. They dabble in the law aspect. But it's still like an oppressive thing to women, like using laws to rearrange, or I even heard arranged marriage or something like this, okay? And then the Muslim aspect of the sword against the star, or the Shriner energy, is to use the religious aspect to control women, okay? Now, this could be a woman with a womb, or we could talk about women, which there are foreign women and there are indigenous women. Kind of like, I guess I can look at it. Certain groups that were it, but were X'd out or exiled and made outsiders in their own land. Do you get what I'm saying? Put in exile in their own land. To be treated like they are foreigners and treated less than. But the foreign women that are coming in are usually provided for more than. If you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, in the beginning, when our ancestors were exiled out of their own shit, they weren't given the same privileges that even like the Irish and things when they started to come in, which are in my bloodlines too. So they weren't given the same aspects as those people when they came in. All right. So a lot of times these people that were indigenous lost their lands at some point in time to the Slavnik or Slavic people or other foreign individuals that were coming in to this land. So that's where land patents and shit like that bother me. Because although they both family, it's like the land didn't belong to them, so the government, like I said, this would ensure that forever they would be able to have these ties to this particular land. So that, but I feel like something went bad with the sisters. There's something about sisters and brothers going against each other. Maybe that's why we talk about sister wives and then, kings or something like this. There's something that narrative when they started to use those things or graft themselves onto other bloodlines and family trees, and then come in and take from others too. So not only are you passion fruit or you've grafted yourself on, you have made it so like the other person that's the original is the one that's being fake and grafting themselves in. So although the copycat is the one that ends up being exalted in society and exalted in financial gain and exalted with the kings of the earth, when the originals are the ones that are being cast out or cast down, or the cornerstones that have been rejected by the builders, because they're afraid of the power that you actually really have. And then these people kind of like are too, so you're kind of stuck in the fucking middle. So everybody is not getting the same treatment. We just have to understand that you don't know everybody's struggle. And I do think that, again, when it comes to this small dynamic, that is not that many of us left. Whether we would be the ones that are exalted, or celebrities and, politicians and shit like that, or the ones that are, like I said, that are considered below as commoners, peasants, and servants, and merchants, and all these other groups, the kings, and then the warriors or whatever. So it's something to that dynamic. But again, the whole thing is when it comes to the soil of America, because I was thinking about that vassal with that crow on top of it and that dirt. Like, I could just give y'all a whole fucking read. I was thinking I'm just going to start something one of these days where just let me not say it, because somebody else going to fucking do it. Okay. So it's something about not giving back to America, not making America great again. So even if this is the case and these people came in and this is what Deuteronomy is talking about, at some point in time, but that may be the first shall be the last. That's something about, I keep hearing about patience. You see what I'm saying? That could also have something to do with no stone unturned. Because I feel like people fear when I say that. Other motherfuckers might be able to say it. But when I say it, motherfuckers fear it. No matter what kind of insecurities they trying to put on me, they fear me talking about no stone. And that don't mean that they're... Listen, I say no compromise when it comes to my position. That don't mean that there can't be no compromise for what people have already built. But as long as these people keep capping or acting like it ain't what it is, I think it's just going to make it worse. See, because the problem was rejecting the cornerstone in the first place, when that was the thing that was supposed to help these people build, and it to be something that could be fair and balanced for both of them. So when this person was exalted to a higher position, what God had for them, then, you know what I'm saying, something was already laid out so it can be balanced out between the two. But they decided to say, oh, that's the person with the most power, cut it down. That's the lineage that goes back the furthest, cut it down. We're going to cut it down, kill this motherfucker, scapegoat them. See, and again, they don't scapegoat you right away. It's like a cash cow energy. So again, although people might not like what I talk about on here, everybody have the right to talk about what they want to talk about. I'm just someone that keeps shit real, and there's a lot of real fake shit around here. And I'm just saying, some people may not be on, just like I'm just getting put on. I'm really just reassessing and really taking all the information that I've obtained over this time and really thinking about what I'm seeing here today, just to get myself back on track or back on board or balanced with or without whatever energies around me. Focus. Because love bombing is something somebody could use on a being like me, because we're not made to just be in love or gravitate or be with someone on that fucking level like that for real. Because we actually do love. There's no time for games when it comes to it. It's something like that. But also there's something about physical touch. So it's something about like a faded energy, where again you can still hold on to that, like, you know what I'm saying, it's that song, because that's why I played at my wedding. What I walked down the aisle to is The Truth by India.Arie. So it's something about that kind of energy, just knowing that you had him. But see, that's why I'm saying these other energies that do this demonic shit, angels and demons, okay, they are the ones trying to, because they can all see you, like Betty Wright said, you know me and I don't know you, then they feel like they can create the narrative, and at some point in time, it's going to start fester or eating away at whatever bound or whatever love or natural connection or whatever between the masculine and the feminine. Because now he's seeing these other people doing better, and that looks tempting, so he goes and plays and see what he would call them. And then again, he come right back. But then again, like I said, it's almost like the clean up woman energy, where somebody's expecting to be a clean up woman and just take just that. Like, you made sure you waited, and you purposely, and you did this shit on purpose, and you stretched yourself out amongst many bitches to do this shit on purpose. And I'm supposed to sit here? So that's why I'm kind of just like looking at the energetic field around Taurus. Like, oh, now you coming back trying to be all like you was 2 years ago or some shit like this. And I'm supposed to just be sitting here? But I feel like there's another energy here on the plane that Source done already created for me to bond with on some other kind of level. You know what I'm saying? And then it's almost like also this with a twin flame too, back in the energy or something like this, but at a distance. And I feel like there comes from some shame, and also this, there comes with this some shame or something. Also, like, somebody not want to say I told you so, and that's not my place. And that's what I'm saying. It's the healing aspect of me, as to people think that they can abuse something over and over again and come back to it. And I feel like that's what my women and my family were to these people. They knew they needed, they did, but they sat there and let these people dog. Not only did the masculine feel some kind of way, which again, if that's your most prized possession and you treat it that way, then again, these bitches that you around gonna start thinking that they could do the same thing. So slowly and slowly, they're feeding off of, these are vultures or black widow energies or succubus, incubus energies. And then again, they're feeding, and you're telling them, and you know, you don't want to force nothing or whatever and seem like no fucking psycho. So again, because you really do love somebody, so you're willing to let them go or whatever and see what this is. You know, and I feel like it's really sad, but I feel like, I don't know, there's something about something where there's a chance, like the feminine also being so madly and like so highly like attached to this masculine on a high level, and maybe going through their life without this same type of love from family and friends. They loved you for at a certain sense, but and then maybe when you pull your energy away, they get pissed off or something. So like energetically, they may not even show it, but they might be, you can sense that people is bothered. You know, 'cause I used to be like, you know, when my mom will call her or something like this, and she'll be like, what you doing? Why you ain't it? And it just, something about it just made me feel something. And I think I might even told her one day, it's just like, man, you just be like this or whatever. And I think she changed it for a while or whatever. But, you know, it's something about, they won't admit it though, but they'll go, like, again, I used to feel like, damn, well, but it seemed like, you know, she would be calling, talking to me about things or whatever. And then I'm like, well, damn, you know, I don't know. It just seemed like, you know, I don't know. It's something about energy here. It's something about energy harvesting or something like this. I just don't know. Or just like even in those days when I was not so voiceful, when I just wanted to keep the peace and I just really didn't say when I was younger or whatever. And to the point when I did say, and it'd be too cutting, and I feel like she felt like, oh, this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because, oh, you just think it like that? Well, that's kind of cold or whatever. But it was just like I was already I went from like 0 to 100. It was like I didn't have 0, like whatever, to stand up for myself, to 100% of the time, like, up, boop, boop, boop. When some shit come, oh, no, I don't think that way. No, that shit don't sound right to me. You know, and so I feel like people don't like that. I noticed this. And, they don't understand too why you don't hold grudges, like even if you feel that way, because we should be able to be adults and speak about something like this or whatever without people getting all in their feelings and going into spell work or going into their subconscious. And you know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, I just don't think that it's worth that. Even I feel like some of these masculine might have dogged the shit out of me. They might have allowed some horrible shit to happen to me. You know what I'm saying? But I think that whatever this is, they know they have to do it behind my back. It's something that I cannot be privy, because if I catch one glimpse of it, that's the only way a motherfucker gonna be able to play me, is me not knowing. You gotta brainwash me, motherfucker, because it's not going. It's not gonna be a go. I could be a stubborn motherfucker when it comes to it. It's not gonna be a go. You're not gonna be able to play me in front of my. So I think people know how to get to me by being like, yeah, you know, I don't know how I could sit there. But then a lot of people, again, it's just that energy of people wanting to be in your position, probably. See, I don't know. I just think a little bit differently. It's not like I think better. It might be in a whole left field than everybody. But I just, you know, we sit here and we have all these gurus and stuff that talk about the same thing in the same way, in the same light. And I just can't do that. I don't like, you know, it's like a motherfucking masterpiece. And I know it. So it's just like, I can't do that like everybody else do. And I feel like people get kind of upset because, like, you might be enjoying the conversation, but you might hear something that be like, oh, damn, she calling out something that I'm doing. So again, when it seems like somebody's not going there, people are okay. But then as soon as you go there, you know what I'm saying, then people want to start tattling or they want to do whatever. But like I said, I change if not. If it's something fucked up, I'm going to say something now, then, 100, you know what I'm saying, years from now, or whatever it's going to be. So, I don't know, it's something about this sister wife energy, which it feels like these sister wives are the ones that are compelling the spell work, and then you may be blaming the masculine, and all the time he's just oblivious or he's under spell work, and he can't see what this little bitch that he think he got that he gonna put over you is doing, and you sitting here saying it, and he like, oh, you just jealous because she's new in town or she's foreign, you know, or you're just like this because she looks like this, or because I buy her this or something like that. And then again, you a whole motherfucker that been built by your motherfucking self. Very sustainable, very innovative. You know that these bitches is feeding off you, but he thinking he got something over here that's some kind of jewel that's better than you. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't age like you or none of that shit. But it's just like this whole energy of, you know, somebody being all in their head. And I'm not talking about the one on they damn top of their neck. All right. So I just like to feel things in. It's like coloring books to me. I like to feel shit in. Oh, this is what this was. This is what okay, so maybe me having this little guidebook of what's going on, maybe I'm the last person on earth that had to break this code or see some shit. But maybe there's not. And I like to go ahead and think of the fabrics of how something got some way, and think of possibly how it got there, and then maybe even think of like some kind of solution. And I feel like the solution is obvious though. When I talk about something and I'm bringing it up like that and I don't come back with a solution, the solution was already in the problem. You get what I'm saying? It's like whatever you was doing over here, either do it equally or don't do it at all, or take from here and put it the fuck back over here where the abundance came from. Because you imagine thinking another bitch got rich off of something. Say, this is what I'm saying about these people. If they're creeping and stalking and using these healthcare workers, so-called, these virtual healthcare workers to do certain things in your home. Imagine that you don't even know that somebody's watching you or some shit like this. And you would never show your bare naked body to nobody. But somebody been taking pictures of you. This is what I was thinking about from that damn movie Spencer. When she was like, they were like, you got to keep your windows closed because they could be looking at you. You know, their camera lenses, they real, you know, they can get into places. Right? But then again, you have to think about this too. Sometimes it was the kings trying to defile the queens because they held power. The ones, only the ones. Let's not get it twisted. There is a fucking difference. Not the ones that's just queens and high priestesses and shit like this. No. Now, they might have catered to them to a certain extent because they don't want them to turn that shit around on them. But I don't think these men be thinking about that at the time. They be so wrapped up in this tantric shit or whatever. They not thinking about that. But I'm talking about the ones that hold powers. The ones that speak. That there's life and death in the fucking tongue. The ones that can speak, these priestess, these priesthoods or whatever, or these particular type of people. I don't know why I wanted to say Melchizedek. I don't know why I wanted to say that, but I don't think that have nothing to do with it. But these particular people that can speak things, me speaking is actually going to affect what's going on in the universe a little more than these other motherfuckers. So this is what I'm saying. And it comes with, like, maybe other people can get there too. What's that song? Get Like Me? Maybe other people can get there too. But then some people don't want you to know that real truth. They just giving you the bare minimum because they don't want you to look like them or overdo them. But real motherfuckers know that a whole bunch of people vibrating on that level and being able to heal and self-heal and self-start and things like this could change something. Because then some of us wouldn't have, the ones of us that really hold that fucking energy, wouldn't have to work so hard on just repairing ourselves all day. From motherfuckers just coming in, take, thinking the shit funny, take, abuse, take. You know what I'm saying? And then there you go with your fucking, then you wonder why everything depleted. Well, because, you know, even though this woman is strong, you done emotionally, physically and physically depleted this fucking woman. These women have convinced these men to even do things like, I was thinking about the covering or the lady that was taking that clipping from that woman. Now, these are people that's in the medical field. Just so happens my sister is, okay? And some of these other females that are retired nurses that are, you know, tarot readers. And I feel like they are also connected to, like, these government jobs or whatever, working from home. Okay, sometimes when people have been working at home for a long time, their mind might not be right. That ain't everybody. Some of us do well that way. A lot of us do well that way. But again, some people can kind of go somewhere. All right. So again, I feel like whatever taking this covering have something to do with a surgical procedure, a little snip, or something like this. And it have something to do with disconnecting one woman from God by doing something with her body, mind, or her yoni area. And giving it to another person, even a transgender or something, as a covering to connect them to these particular people. All right. It's almost like that's your alarm clock to God. I feel like this was some things that was strategically done with genital mutilation, but also jinn got jinn in it, like Genesis. Jinn got jinn in it, like jinn spirits. Fiery, maybe fire signs or fire. I'm seeing fire or red eyes. So it could be nighttime activity. So again, I feel like this has something to do with accountability. Dang, did I bring it? This has something to do with accountability, possibly. And prioritizing. But I feel like a lot of times these sister wives, the one that's oppressed or whatever, is the most powerful one. And these sisters know that, right? So they want to be in that group or a coven or whatever this is or whatever. But they want the masculine to fake himself out to act like this one that you making in the Build-A-Bitch workshop is me. Like, both of you motherfuckers delusional. Hold on 1 second. Can I have a maple sugar bacon croissant?
Okay.
And a pumpkin spice hot latte?
Okay.
And I think that's it.
Perfect.
So again, this is why I feel like they get into these masculines' heads then, and they're able to get them to start going against their actual gem, because they can cover themselves and cloak themselves like they're you now. But then these masculines soon realize that they're not, because at the other end of this thing, they're gonna bruise your tail, or they're gonna bruise, something about bruising your head. That might be my energy, because I'm gonna make a motherfucker think. But then bruising the heel or the tail could be these women that they bring in, and then at the end of the day, somehow they're gonna notice that it was that person that actually was the one that depleted them, that did them wrong or whatever, and then they come back to the energies like mine, because we can't turn. We were created to be fair and balanced and leaders and rulers and shit like this. So not taking it like too far when it comes to people that are going to be punished for you have to still have that heart, because again, if people are cold, then that's how they're going to treat, or if they're like a karmic or whatever, so-called karmic, okay, then they're going to have a inhumane way of dealing with things. And when you base your foundation on that narrative, and then also denounce or overthrow the energy that gave both of you life, even though you might have taken her life off of that fucking piece of paper or whatever the fuck y'all doing, or my life or something like this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't stop the fact that there is life that's been given, and it'll keep on being given to a certain extent. So I like to put in the living God energy with the biblical energy, with law, politics, the Bible, the Quran, all the other old texts, the emerald text, all that shit, the non-commodity, all of it wrapped up in something. The Shekinah, when we're talking about, Sophia, whoever, all of these energies. The indigenous aspect versus the autochthonous, because there is a difference. There's a difference with the native energy. It's all different. But that's why Joseph or whatever, or I feel like, again, sometimes I'm dealing with that energy, or maybe even something to do with this masculine being attached to me, has him attached to all those fabrics or all those coats. So that's why he knows to keep me kept like a fucking kept woman. But to a certain extent, though, now, come on now. Shit been changing around here where I'm like, hold on, motherfucker, because that's when I need to know, you know what I'm saying? Because then it's hard for the women like me to, and that's why they came from family of rulers. Because there's no way that a queen or a king or a princess, they're not assessing the situation before they package up their fucking daughter, even in fucking Africa. If they was bringing 72 cows and churn for a fucking bride, you know what I'm saying? There's no way a motherfucker is doing that. There's no way. And this whole chauvinistic, misogynistic energy as to trying to defile women, as to just being back in the day, when just being in the presence of another man, or walking alone, or not having your brothers, or just accusations of people, or even if she was somebody that fucking slept around. I really think we got some of this shit twisted. That didn't take the value away from that woman. And a lot of the shit was lies, because I was reading that shit about them kings and stuff like that, especially King Henry or whatever. And how they were persecuting his wife or whatever because they wanted someone else. It may not even be him that wanted somebody else. It might have been them that wanted somebody else, because the same day I found in the Bible where it's saying somebody rejected somebody as the king. So there's this energy here. But maybe these people knew something that somebody didn't fucking know. Somebody should have told somebody something, right? I mean, people are hiding whole connections here. You got a rap sheet in the spirit realm or something where you would not even go in that direction. You might even be celibate in the spirit realm, in the sleep realm, in your soul, in your body, your mind, your heart. You don't want nobody fucking even in your energy field but your fucking masculine. Or maybe if you got somebody in the 3D and you looking sideways at that motherfucker. But people can tally on names or heads or whatever on your motherfucking coat. Like, nah, that shit ain't working over here. See, that's what I'm saying. They forget. The reason why they target me so much is because they forget I got a gift to unravel that shit in front of your motherfucking face. The only thing that I know is that when it comes to Taurus, it's very hard for me. So this must be someone who also is some type of powerful energy. Because I can read him. I knew my fucking Taurus. I know my fucking Taurus. So for there to be a piece of this Taurus that now I'm looking at different and I don't know, that let me know that there has been an alteration. There's been a swap, a switch, or something. "30-something years, and I never had to be like, hey, what you doing? Let me see your phone." Come on. Until this shit that was going on these past 2 years. So it's like they locked me out the game, but I figured out what it is, or where it is, or how it works. Even though I have no access. People have access to me when it comes to their game or whatever the fuck they do. But they don't open it up so I can be aware of what's going on to me. That's spiritual rape to me. That can also be things that can be happening to people that can carry on into your waking life and affect you heavily. So I've come here really to, like that book said about the information that motherfuckers can't even probably comprehend or grasp. I came here to break generational curses. So I will be damned if I see. You get what I'm saying? They don't think I know that, coming in the back end to take like the end of the story and paste it. Because I feel like usually these men will come back and do right. But these bitches, they found a way to try to come back in and take whatever it is, that ending, that destiny or whatever, and try to paste it onto their fucking heads. And so I got to come in with that motherfucking samurai sword like Michonne up in this bitch. With that double-edged sword. Because this will be the last time that you ended a Christ energy was the last motherfucking time. But somebody knows these cycles, and that's why they just kept saying, I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you. I didn't never want to make you cry about none of that shit for real. I'm just so, that's why I had to leave, but it's like, I could dig that to a certain extent, but I don't want to hear shit else. I don't want to think nothing. I don't want to dream. No, motherfucker, show me. Because that downfall, that outcome is not going to be the outcome this time, not with me. Shit, I'm hearing I've only just begun. They can't hide it no more. I wanted to clear up. I wanted to witness what was going on, live through it so I can talk about it and speak on that shit. And hopefully be somebody that could be a peacemaker, because I feel like I do come from a family of peacemakers as well. In order to balance something out for the future. That's how so a motherfucker can try to joke or try to talk about me or something about my work ethic or something like that. Don't you worry, because I'm laying down shit that's going to change and reform whatever the fuck is coming up in the future for my daughters. So even if they had to be privy of some shit like this, my D baby ain't gonna have to.